Good day, this is our latest video update on this Thursday afternoon. We continue to watch Tembin, formerly a typhoon, made landfall in southern Taiwan earlier this morning and has since weakened to a severe tropical storm. Meanwhile, we continue to watch as well Typhoon Bolaven inside the Philippine area of responsibility and still threatening Okinawa in the next few days. Looking at the Western Pacific Basin here again, you can see the immense size of Bolaven compared to Tembin, which again is now over the southwestern part of Taiwan, weakened to a tropical storm. Now you can also see Bolaven's pull of the southwest monsoon. That's very strong feeder bands. Again, the system is expected to enhance the southwest monsoon in the next few days, bringing showers in Luzon and Visayas. And for Tembin, it could also impact northern Luzon by this weekend as it meanders in this area. You can also see the distance between these two systems as we await the Fujiwhara to take effect between these two systems, which could definitely mean a catastrophic rainfall, catastrophic scenario for Taiwan, as Tembin could linger in this area for at least 2 to 3 days. And going close up here in severe tropical storm Tembin or Igme, the system has actually left the Philippine area of responsibility. It has crossed the 120th meridian. So we'll see the latest update from Pagasa later this afternoon, see if they acknowledge the exit of Tembin. Nevertheless, the system is forecast to actually recurve and enter back into the Philippine area of responsibility in the next 2 days here. But as you can see, the system has really taken a hit as it moved across Taiwan earlier this morning. You can see this central dense overcast, not very symmetric anymore, and obviously the eye is now gone. Nevertheless, we continue to see strong convective activity around the system as it interacts with the mountain's terrain here. As I said, the system made landfall earlier this morning, right around 4:30 in the morning local time, in the county between Pingtung and Taitung County, south of the city of Taidong over here, as a Category 3 typhoon, according to JTWC. We had station reports here of sustained gust winds of up to 200 kilometers per hour as the eye moved, particularly here in the island of Lanyu. And also here a station here in Dawu reported seeing gustiness of nearly 180 kilometers per hour as the system moved ashore. So did pack very strong winds as it moved, and you can also notice the system took a southwestward dip here. Remember, yesterday we were forecasting it to make landfall in this area here in Taitung, but Tembin actually took a last-minute southwestward wobble, and instead made landfall here in Pingtung, northeast of the city of Hengshun, over here in southern Taiwan. And again, right now the system has taken a toll on the landfall. We had warming cloud tops here in the western periphery, still seeing some cold, strong convective activity right near the center over here, and you can also see some convective activity still lingering across the island of Taiwan, bringing continuous moderate to heavy rains over here. You can also see the latest microwave image. Well, taking this roughly 3 hours ago. Actually, this is our latest microwave image, unfortunately, but still giving an idea of how the system fared as it moved across. We still had the eye wall visible here, but I'm guessing the system has the eye wall has opened up, because based on the satellite, this system has really weakened in the past 6 hours. Actually, both JMA and JTWC downgrading this back to a tropical storm. Now, the current warnings, the system is still within the Philippine area of responsibility as of 11 a.m. and the system continues to influence the weather here in the island's extreme northern Luzon. So we still have signal number 2 for Batanes Group of Islands, and number 1 for Calayan and Babuyan Group of Islands, and Central Weather Bureau in Taiwan also issuing land and land typhoon warnings for many counties, as well as extremely heavy rain. You can see here on this page from Central Weather Bureau, still many counties across central and southern portions of the island under a land typhoon warning, and also still some extremely heavy rain advisories across the mountainous regions, especially here in Hualien, Kaohsiung, Taitung, and even here in Pengtung County. The system is located to the southwest, so we still have those inflow moving right across the eastern portions of the island, bringing still heavy rains in this region. And speaking of heavy rains, is the precipitation map again from Central Weather Bureau, showing you the large swath of heavy rains from the north to the south, running across the eastern section of the country as we've expected yesterday. Again, running along this mountainous region, you can see some stations reporting more than 300 millimeters in a span of 15 hours. So basically, remember, the system made landfall at 4 a.m. this morning, and the rain has been falling steadily ever since across this region, especially across the southern portions. And you can also see the northwestern side of Taiwan actually remaining dry and spared by the most of the heavy rains. But fortunately for the southern part of Taiwan, continue to experience rains here, and could continue actually for the next 2 days. As again, Tembin is forecast to meander south west of Taiwan. This is the latest radar image giving an idea of the rainfall currently occurring in Taiwan. Again, the majority of the rains have moved offshore, but we are still seeing some moderate to even heavy rains across the counties here in southern part of Taiwan, and also some bands of rains moving across the central area. Batanes group of islands would be situated over here, so theoretically they would be seeing some rains here as well. Again, the rains in this region could continue, unfortunately, for the next 2 days over this weekend. The latest forecasts from the agencies, again, showing a very tight cluster, very good confidence and very good agreement among the computer forecasting agencies of a U-turn and eventual movement towards the northeast, again being influenced by Typhoon Bolaven approaching from the east. They are now within 1,300 kilometers, so certainly possible of seeing a Fujiwhara effect between these two systems. And again, the system will stay in this area roughly around 100 to 200 kilometers southwest of Taiwan by the next 2 days, and by by Sunday we expect the system to start moving more to the northeast and moving near Basco, Batanes by around Monday. Again, the system right now is a tropical storm, but we expect it to intensify back to a typhoon as it moves across the warm waters here in the West Philippine Sea or South China Sea. It will take its time because it obviously got hit by the landfall earlier, so it will take time reorganizing its structure. But again, this still has 3 days across favorable conditions, so it could definitely intensify back into a typhoon. And unfortunately, most of the forecasting agencies are bringing Tembin very near Taiwan again by as early as Monday, particularly here in the city of Hengchun here in Pingtung County, and eventually moving it to the northeast. And more particularly here is JMA's 5-day forecast. Again, expecting the system to remain in nearly the same area, moving very slowly in the next 2 to 3 days, eventually accelerating to the northeast as it follows Bolaven by early next week. But again, see how close the system gets again to Taiwan, and also it will enter the Philippine responsibility again, possibly affecting the island's extreme northern Luzon, and even into provinces here of Ilocos Norte and even Cagayan. They could see some rains as well, and also western portions of Luzon as the southwest monsoon is enhanced by both Tembin and Bolaven. And speaking of Bolaven, here is our latest update. Last week, approximately 790 kilometers southeast of Okinawa, maximum sustained winds have increased to 150 kilometers per hour with gusts of up to 215. The system is currently moving northwestward at 15 kilometers per hour, and you can see here some improvements. Actually, we are seeing an eye starting to form now, very small though, pinhole eye, and also poleward outflow has improved tremendously in the past 24 hours. You can see very good cyclonic rotation, cyclonic look on this visible satellite image. However, the system is actually battling some dry air to the north and western side. You can see in this latest infrared image some dry air located right around Okinawa. A latest upper air soundings here suggesting some mid-level dry air, which could slow down intensification, but nevertheless, system is very powerful typhoon already and could still intensify, albeit slowly, in the next 2 days. You can see again the pinhole eye with very strong convective ring surrounding the center. Again, we are seeing some disruptions in the convection, especially across the northern and eastern side of the system, as some dry air is being entrained into the circulation. Again, the system is already powerful enough to really pose a threat to Okinawa, so even if you don't see this intensify anymore, which I don't think it will, you could still see some very strong winds by as early as Sunday morning here. The latest microwave image showing you the eye wall is not looking great at the moment. The eye wall actually formed last night pretty spectacularly, but now it has really shrunk down, and you can see another ring of convection trying to form. We could probably seeing the same issues that plagued Tembin 3 days ago. Remember, the system actually peaked at category 3 or even category 4 before weakening, and then re-strengthened as it approached Taiwan. We could see the same thing here for Bolaven, weakening perhaps in the next 12 hours and then ramping up back up again in terms of intensification before it reaches Okinawa. And in terms of Okinawa, computer forecast agencies and computer models actually are still strongly clustered and very good agreement in terms of a landfall here in Okinawa by Sunday morning as a category 3 or perhaps even 4 according to GTWC, expecting sustained winds of 220 kilometers per hour right around Okinawa. So Kadena Air Base has actually increased or upgraded its T-core tropical cyclone condition of readiness to 3, which basically urges residents here in the air base to start stacking up and also tying loose objects and or bringing them inside with a safer bet here. But in terms again of the timing, here's JMA's 5-day forecast, and they are also moving that forecast track a little bit to the north now, and forecasting a landfall here right around Naha by Sunday morning or Sunday afternoon. Probably the peak of the winds will probably start at around 8 in the morning, seeing typhoon force, and could last into the afternoon hours, probably by 3 p.m. here. And again, the wind field of the system is so large that the islands of Amami and also here in Sakishima Islands can still definitely feel some tropical storm force winds. And as the system slowly moves across, we could see some tropical storm force winds or higher in Okinawa remain for at least 24 hours. So expect this winds to start beginning Saturday night, and those winds won't end until Monday morning. So very long ordeal, unfortunately, for Okinawa, and eventually actually for the Korean Peninsula. And you can see in this 5-day forecast, JMA is bringing it west of Seoul by Tuesday afternoon, and could make landfall here in North Korea actually by Wednesday morning. By this time, the system will start to weaken as it approaches the Yellow Sea here, the East China Sea, due to cooler waters and also increase in wind shear. But nevertheless, system will pose a big threat for South and North Korea in terms of heavy rains and also some strong winds as well. GTWC actually, in fact, forecasting this to remain a typhoon right up to landfall here in North Korea. So it's a very big threat in that area as well. But for right now, if you are in Okinawa, continue to start preparing now if you haven't done so. A system is forecast to start approaching the islands here in the next 48 hours. You can also check out these latest links here for the official weather forecast, especially here for JMA if you are in Okinawa, and also Kadena if you are within the Kadena Air Base. Also, if you are in Taiwan, unfortunately, heavy rains could continue, especially along the southern portions in the next 2 days. So you can check out Central Weather Bureau for the latest warnings, and also Pagasa for those living in northern Luzon as the system could also influence our weather there. Stay safe, guys.